Hi, and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're gonna see the dimensions of knowledge and cognitive process. Today's lessons it's gonna be really interesting. Why? As future teachers, we know that these dimensions are gonna be really helpful for us. We're gonna see these dimensions, what knowledge is, cognition, and also we're gonna be watching the Bloom's taxonomy. As I mentioned, it's gonna be really helpful for us. And I have a question for you. What is knowledge and what is cognition? Because it is a really important thing to know before we start with the main topic of this presentation. What is knowledge? Knowledge are the facts, skills, and objects that we acquire through the years. We can say we go to school, we read the book, we go to parties, we go to the movies, and we have experience. We acquire something in our everyday basis. This knowledge have like a big impact in our life since it gets to be the background knowledge that our brain is acquiring through the years. So, as I mentioned, they are the facts, skills, objects, and power. But why do I mean with power? Power is not actually in the definition of knowledge, but it is something about it. The knowledge has a big power and a big impact in our life. That is why it's considered like a part of it, because it has a really powerful impact in our lives, and we have to be really careful about it since we have a lot of ways of getting information and knowledge right now by the internet, TV shows, etc. Another aspect that we have to know before we touch the main topic is what is cognition. It refers to the mental process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and senses. This cognitive process includes attention, thinking, and formation of knowledge, remembering, judging, and problem solving. There are high-level functions of the brain encompassed with knowledge, imagination, perception, and planning. These cognitive processes affect every aspect of our life, from studies, work, to relationships. Some examples can be learning, because it requires us to take in new information and to get along with our background knowledge, and from new concepts that we have to learn day by day, and of course understanding it. Also, another example is memories, forming memories, how we remember, what we remember, and what we forget. And another one is the make of decisions. Why? Because you have to think and judge the information that you have based on your knowledge so you can make a decision. But again, why do we have to know this? We have to know this because without this knowledge we can understand their dimension. We have to know what is knowledge and what is the cognition to know the dimensions of the cognitive process, and the knowledge. So keep watching this video because it really gets really interesting and I hope you like it.
The cognitive process helps you to maximize your brain's potential and makes it easier to connect new information with existing ideas depending the memory and retention capacity. Includes the 6 levels of thinking skills as remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. These levels are capacities and allow us to transform our environment, learn new information, and solve problems that allow us to satisfy our necessities and keep evolving. The knowledge dimensions is the knowing what. It has 4 categories: factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive. The factual knowledge includes isolated bits of information such as vocabulary definitions and knowledge about specific details. The conceptual knowledge consists of systems of information such as classifications and categories. The procedural knowledge includes algorithms or rules of thumb, techniques, and methods, as well as knowledge about when to use these procedures. The metacognitive knowledge refers to knowledge of thinking processes and information about how to manipulate these processes effectively.
In Bloom's taxonomy, the dimensions of knowledge are represented in the shape of a pyramid. We can measure from the bottom to the top the skills that require less cognitive process, but are a good base to start the learning process. The higher tiers in the pyramid require a high degree of cognition to be achieved. It is not possible for a student to reach the highest level of skills if the lower levels are not mastered. This hierarchy is designed to encourage the students to reach a high level of thinking, which allow them to create new knowledge. Bloom's taxonomy is divided in 6 levels that help us to categorize the skills needed at that particular tier. Starting from the bottom, we find the remember skill, which is the ability to recall facts and concepts without any additional elaboration. Next, we have the understand skill. In this level, we can explain the ideas or concepts that are presented to us. The third level is to apply the knowledge that we have and use it in a new situation. This is presented in the design of methodologies or to define general ideas. In the top half of the pyramid, we find the critical thinking skill. In the analyze tier, the students can make connections between ideas which allow them to differentiate facts from opinions. Once we reach the capacity to analyze, we can move forward to the evaluate level. At this level, the students can justify a decision by arguing, judging, or critiquing based on the knowledge acquired and the results of the application process. Finally, we have the create level. In this stage, the students have the capacity to use all the previously learned skills to create new knowledge.
Bloom's taxonomy should be a specific reference in the work of the teacher, as it is very useful for different aspects inherent to the profession, so it is always advisable to give us the task of knowing it and, if necessary, to rediscover it, as it will certainly enrich our practice.
If you know them, that's wonderful, do your best. If you don't know them because they're new to you, that's fine too, just give it your best shot. If you get 4 or fewer words wrong on your pretest, then you'll get a different list. So do your best. Don't worry if the words seem hard or easy, just give it your best shot. I need everybody's name on their paper, and we are going to get started. The first word is urgent. Urgent. The phone message said I needed to call back. It was urgent.
Today we were doing our weekly spelling. I start out with a pretest every Monday, to see who already knows the words, and then the students that score 80% or higher, I compact them out of that particular spelling lesson and give them more challenging words. The words that I give them are about 3rd grade level words, and the more advanced list is more like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade level words.
The next word is swipe. Swipe. I watched the cat take a swipe at the mouse. Swipe.
Compact is when a student already knows the material you're giving them, so you advance them, sticking to the same concept, but they get different work. It's not necessarily more or less work, it's just different work that meets their needs.